Hey everybody, so breaking news we got today. Trey Moore, the top defensive end for UTSA, is leaving the program. He announced on Twitter today that he is entering the transfer portal. He was the AAC player of the year. He was the AAC defensive player of the year. He led the conference in tackles for loss. He led the conference in sacks. I think he was third in the nation overall in sacks. He was a huge player for UTSA over the last couple of years, and he is no longer a UTSA roadrunner. He will be leaving. This stuff sucks, man. This stuff really, really sucks, and I can't help but feel some type of way about it, if I'm being honest. Before I jump into my thoughts on this, be sure to smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. We're trying to build this community, and I'm super close to 700, so I'd appreciate you guys if you help me get there. But going back to this situation, man, it's got to be tough to be around that program right now and think about all of the discourse behind, the lack of resources, the lack of money across the board. Coach Traylor has often been in front of the cameras. What does he say? He needs money to be able to retain staff. He needs money to be able to pay these kids so he can retain the talent that is necessary for us to compete at a high level. And, something like this is just a blow. I know he was gutted, but I'm sure he's not a dumb guy. I'm sure he could see this coming from a mile away whenever you got a guy that talented. I think those Power 5 programs are just going to have an advantage over the G5 programs in general because there's more prestige, there's deeper pockets, and all of that sort of thing that we just won't be able to compete with, if we're being honest, until we get to a higher level. It's going to be years before we can compete with those schools, and when I say years, I mean a lot, right? But I think there's going to be some players that are just like Trey Moore, to me, is going to be a slam dunk NFL player. You can see that 100%. Guys like that are going to be tough for us to keep. We've seen this with Zachary Franklin last year. That there was another one of our most prolific weapons that we lost because of the NIL stuff and this transfer portal and all of that. And I think this is going to be something that we're going to have to deal with year in and year out. I don't know. I think the way to combat that is if you are one of those guys, we should try our hardest to get those guys paid really, really well to fend off some of those Power 5 schools. I think, and I don't know how this stuff works with the NIL collectors and things like that, but if there is a way to prioritize some of those top players, we need to absolutely do that. And I know there's ways to do that. We need to absolutely do that. So these guys, and I'm not saying we can compete with some of these programs that are paying kids $1 million or anything like that, right? But at the same time, I do think that to the extent that we can take care of some of our better players, we have to pull out all the stops. So this, to me, amplifies all of the things that we've been hearing from Coach Traylor, all of the discourse that's been on social media for the last few weeks, really all this season, about lack of resources and just effort and us trying to do things and trying to get the city behind UTSA. I think it is extremely important because we're going to continue to see this. I also think we're going to have to be an outlet also and carve our own path in the transfer portal and make ourselves a attractive place to be. I think that obviously money is going to dictate a lot of this with some of the high caliber players, but what about those players who are at your Alabamas, who are at your UTs, who are super talented, but they may not be in a rotation as early as they want to be. And, they may be in situations that are not favorable to them. Those guys are still talented. They can be useful at UTSA. So hopefully we establish ourselves as an outlet for those guys to come in, join UTSA, and have a prosperous career. So this is unfortunate, but it was always inevitable. I've talked about this a couple of weeks ago about that Trey Moore is probably going to be a flight risk because he is so talented and so good, and we're seeing it. So no hard feelings to him. Listen, man, go get your bag. If you're going to go make hundreds of thousands of dollars at another program that can have a lasting impact on your life and your family, go do your thing. No hard feelings there. It just sucks that we're in this environment now, and this is another thing that we have to navigate through. so we lose talent and we lose our ability, or not lose our ability to compete, but we have to find a way to be creative enough to be able to, number one, retain talent, but also be able to be an attractive place for people to come. So this is going to be tough. I also think that the coaching decisions and the coaching carousel situation doesn't help these type of things. I hope that he's not the first domino of many that falls, but we will see. I think a lot of the times when the big guy does this thing, you'll start to see other guys follow suit. So we'll obviously keep our ears to the street. I know we, had maybe another guy or two who weren't necessarily in a rotation like that may be looking elsewhere, but I'm just hoping we don't lose any more of our big fish, if that makes sense. So wanted to drop a note here just to give you guys sort of an instant reaction of what I thought about this. It sucks. It is what it is, though. At the same time, you kind of expect these things. We expect, some of these bigger programs to have the advantages they have, and we just kind of have to deal with it, press on, and go on. But I hope this is motivating to some folks who are on the fence about donating. Go ahead and donate, man, so we can help out the program here. So I appreciate you guys for watching. We will be doing the live chat tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow evening, but I wanted to check in with you guys on this front. Peace.